Greetings, teams. Trust that each and every one of you are doing well. I just want to quickly, bring about a quick update so that every one of you are clear with the situation that is taking place in the market. There are basically a lot of fear at this moment that is causing the sell-off taking place, and I think most of you have you getting, the updates, right? I'm actually been updating you on the status, and we are seeing exactly, market is Bitcoin price is moving based on this, update that I've given to you, and I trust that because of this update, every one of us in our team, are basically taking the necessary precaution, and also you are preparing your position, especially if you are part of JDX bot and you have your short position, and if your short position is somewhere around 40,000 or 45,000, I think you should be able to do, you should add order and bring that price a little bit higher, right? So if you can do that, that will be really great. And I'm going to show to you the level that you need to watch, and if you can get your short into that level, and then you can actually close that short position. And I'm also going to share with you the level where we're going to basically do add orders. All right, we're going to add orders for the long position. Okay, so at this moment, you are only allowed to do the manual add order for the short position, and you can close that position manually. But for the long position, you are not allowed to do the add orders, and you are also not allowed to close the position manually. But I'm going to show to you shortly the levels where I'm going to give you the instruction later on, where we can actually start to do add orders, okay, for the long position. But then you do not need to close the long position manually. The long position will be closed automatically. Okay. Now, please understand, what is really taking place, and as long as everyone is following the instruction, I believe we are starting to see a lot of the positions, the short position are starting to close already. Okay, so I think this is brilliant, and I remember that when I began to share about Bitcoin price coming down, no one actually really believed that it is possible, because everyone was thinking that because of ETF, right? Because of the ETF inflows, all these institutions coming in to buy Bitcoin, and institutions are basically have their own narrative, right? They have their own narrative. They always saying positive things. They always saying that Bitcoin price will go up, and this is actually has created a massive chaos, right? Because a lot of the retails, a lot of people who don't really understand, they actually came in and bought Bitcoin at 70,000, at 60 over thousand, and so on. And now a lot of these people are basically holding on to this Bitcoin, or probably they would actually cash it out, because they never expected that the price of Bitcoin will actually in the mode of correction at this moment. Okay, so this is something that I really want you to understand. So if you look at the current situation, right, previously, if you look into over here, right, we have Bitcoin actually reached all the way to 73,800, and then it corrected, it came down, okay, around this level, which is about 56,000. Can you see that? So now we saw that Bitcoin actually went all the way to 72,000. Bitcoin actually, hit 72,000, and then we saw the sell-off. And Bitcoin currently sitting right at the low of 58,400. Right, 58,400, which is somewhere yesterday, right? So you can see that that is about 19% drop. Okay, now please understand, when the price goes up, that is fine, right? Because everybody is making the money. But when the price comes down, there could be millions, okay, there could be even billions of liquidation taking place, because this is where a lot of the positions are actually getting, the longs are getting wrecked. Okay, they are getting liquidated, right? So now, what am I looking at? Okay, what am I looking at? Where do I expect the price of Bitcoin to actually visit? Okay, and this is important so that you can make sure, okay, if you are part of JDX bot and you have your position open, at least you know the level where I'm expecting Bitcoin to visit, so that you can bring up your short position to that level, and then you can actually close that position in profit. All right, so now let's look into that very quickly. Okay. So if you look into this chart, okay, you can see that, right? So the next level that I'm really watching, we have already hit 58,000, but please understand that we can see a long tail here. So that simply means that this is a liquidity sweep. So we could actually I expect for Bitcoin to probably do a slight correction, and then it could actually return back and revisit 58,000 level and sweep the liquidity over there. At the next level to watch, we also have the liquidity level at 56,500, right? But the major level, okay, the major level that I really want you to watch is this level of 49,000. Now, if you take the low, right? If you take the low here and the low here, and if you just draw a line over here, and then you take a line of the ETF approval high, all right, ETF approval high, which is around 49,000. Can you see that? So this 2 point is merging over here, right? So that simply means that if we are going to see a massive sell-off, right, we could basically see Bitcoin coming back and retesting the ETF approval high. Now, if there are a lot of confluence there, okay, at ETF approval high, and please understand, okay, because of the sell-off that is taking place, this can create a lot of a lot of fear. All right, this can create a lot of fear, and this fear basically is not just because someone is selling up. Basically, that the fear is because of the news, right? The news is causing a lot of fear, and most probably also we can see that the ETF players some of them are already starting to actually take profit at this time, because they are expecting for the price of Bitcoin to actually revisit the previous level, and they might actually come in to buy Bitcoin. So now please understand, okay, from a macro perspective, we are bullish, but from a micro perspective, right, this is a bearish sentiment taking place at this moment. Okay, so now if you look at some of the catalysts, right, some of the catalysts of the bearish sentiment, definitely we are seeing a lot of outflow at this moment. Okay, so if you get back and look into the ETF outflow, right, so you can see that it is getting worse. Okay, it is getting worse. You can see that there are more rate outflow actually taking place, and a lot of these ETF players or institutions are basically just offloading, right? Offloading their Bitcoin and so on. Okay, so we are not seeing much from BlackRock yet. Okay, but once you start to see from BlackRock, I think this is going to be a spinning downward. Okay, spinning downward for Bitcoin itself. So that is the ETF outflow. Then we also have the news, right, that the German government is selling off the confiscated, okay, Bitcoin. Okay, they have about 50,000 Bitcoin that has been confiscated. All right, and I think they have not really sold all their Bitcoin yet. They are selling it in the smaller portion, 500 Bitcoin, 1,000 Bitcoin, and so on. And just recently, we are seeing more transfer into the exchanges. So every time you see, okay, a news that the German are actually sending their Bitcoin to the exchanges, that is simply means that the sell-off is coming at any time. But please understand, right? When you hear this kind of news, sometimes they are only sending the Bitcoin to the exchanges. The sell-off have not really started. But when the user begin to read the news, they are already in the panic mode. So what is happening is that probably a lot of retails, a lot of other players are already starting to sell when they hear that German government already sending Bitcoin to the exchanges, because there are two situations, right? Number one is that they worry that they're going to be at loss. Number two is that probably they are already at profit, so they are selling off at the top, and they are waiting for German government to sell so that they can buy back at the bottom, right? So these are different strategies, okay, that different people may have when it comes to Bitcoin itself. Then on top of that, we also just heard the news of Mt. Gox repayment plan. So you can see, right, I have been saying about this again and again, right? So all these things are now becoming fruitions, okay, happening before our eyes. And this is the reason why I actually warn the people, right? Do not buy at the top. All right, do not buy at the top. This is basically like a trap. So those who bought at the top, I'm sorry for them. They have to wait or they have to sell it at loss. But those of you who did not buy at the top, all right, so that is great, because now probably there's going to be a discounted rate for you to buy Bitcoin at the bottom, right? At the bottom. So MTGOX repayment. So that simply means that the repayment has not started yet. It will start in July. So what we are seeing now is basically fear, right? So fear is causing the sell-off. People are worried that the price is going to get, much lower when MTGOX repayment plan start. That is for sure, okay? If MTGOX starts to actually pay those victims, the victims are not going to hold their Bitcoin. They have already waited, for many years, so they're going to sell their holding, right? So we're going to see Bitcoin price even further coming down. All right, so could this be the catalyst where Bitcoin can come down for 49,000? And if 49,000 doesn't hold, the next level to watch is 38,500. All right, now if 38,500 break, I think we can go even much lower, 25,000, or even to fill up the CME gap, okay, that I have been calling, okay, which is $10,000. So we do not know, but at this moment, I think, all right, I think it is quite prominent, okay, it is quite prominent to be able to see Bitcoin revisiting 58,000, and there is high chance that it can actually go down, to hit this 49,000 level. So this is what I've been mentioning, all right? If you have, okay, a short position, let's say 40,000 or 45,000, right? Try to add order. So if you have extra fund, if you can add order, right? If you can add order, bring the level up, okay, at least $50,000 and above. So keep it above 50,000. So if Bitcoin price goes down, and hit that level of 50,000, most probably, right, you would have already closed your short position. Can you see that? So that is a brilliant way to do it. That's a brilliant way to do it. Now, some of you are asking that when can we add order for the long? Don't worry. All right, this is why I told you, right? Do not rush. All right, do not rush, because at the end of it, we want the market to come to us. We do not want to go, towards the market. If you go towards the market, it can be a bit more risky, right? So you wait for the market to come to you. But if you wait for the market, then they require a lot of patience, right? So you have to really wait for the market to come to you. So now, if the market, okay, so this is my plan. I'm waiting for the price to come at least about 55 to 50,000. All right, 55 to 50,000 level. Within this level, okay, you will be receiving an instruction, all right, to add order for your long position. All right, so now you can manually, right? So when the instruction were given to you, then only, right, you can actually add order manually. Do not do it now, because we need to change certain algorithm, all right, in order to allow the user to add order for their long position. All right, so do not do it now. Okay, the level that I'm watching is 50,000 to 55,000 level. I think this will be a appropriate level to add order. And if in this event, right, when Bitcoin price actually recovers and Bitcoin price move upward, then the long position will be closed automatically. Right, so please wait, okay, be patient, okay, watch the market playing, okay, before your eyes, okay, because everything that we are saying at this moment is coming to pass. Now, please also understand at this moment, right, there is a lot of confusion whether are we going to have a normal cycle, which is a right translated, or are we going to have a left translated cycle. Now, please understand, right, we have up to November, right? November 2024, right? November 2024, and anything can happen from now to November. Bitcoin price, what I'm really anticipating, most probably we're going to see, we're going to see a sideway, all right? A sideway move, okay, for the next 1 to 2 months, and this is going to really create a lot of pain to Bitcoin holders, those who are expecting Bitcoin price to go up. All right, and I think this is going to be a flushing. It's going to flush out a lot of the long position, and it's going to get rid of a lot of these, positions. And once all these are washed out, okay, get liquidated, then we're going to start to see probably fresh money coming into the system, okay, fresh money inflow into Bitcoin. And most probably that is what most of the institutions are doing. They are actually waiting for the waiting, all right, they are actually gathering fund, they are waiting for the price to get to certain level before they actually come in to buy more and more Bitcoin. Okay, so that is basically what I see that is really taking place. And also we're going to see more liquidity coming into the market, right? Because when all the sell-off that is taking place from German, from empty gox and so on, is going to actually bring in more liquidity into the market, and that is going to allow people to buy at a cheaper price. Okay, now please understand, I also anticipate most probably, okay, the US government will also actually come into the picture to sell off their confiscated Bitcoin, and high likely, okay, I am expecting for Tesla to actually also sell off their Bitcoin holding. Now, if Tesla sell off their Bitcoin holding, do expect, okay, I believe so, Bitcoin can even revisit $9,000 to $12,000, and that is going to be a massive, okay, a massive dump, and most probably thereafter we could see a bull market return. Okay, so I hope that this this highlight and this quick update is helpful, and I trust, okay, you will be able to do the needful. And what I really want to see is that the short position, okay, getting close as soon as possible. So if you can do the add orders, okay, only if you have the fund, okay. If you don't have the fund, then you have no choice. You have to wait until the price come to that level to close the position manually. But if you do have extra fund and you can do the add orders, and also please make sure to follow the instruction. Don't go in all out, okay, with your add orders. Do it 1%, 1% slowly, and watch the liquidation, and make sure you maintain a good, a good range of liquidation so that you don't get liquidated. Okay, now at this moment, those of you who have a long position, please watch your liquidation. All right, watch your liquidation, because if the price of Bitcoin starts to go down, you might see your liquidation for the long is getting closer to, right? So make sure you watch, and if you need to not add fund in order to keep the liquidation away, all right, please do so and maintain the liquidation so that you don't get liquidated. All right, so I trust, okay, this insight is helpful. I was just thinking that, probably this is a right moment to send out, okay, a quick updates, pertaining to the market and what we are expecting at this moment. All right, now please understand, all right, if you look into the weekly, right, just quickly, right, I want to show you currently market sentiment is too bad even on the weekly basis, right? At this moment we already started to see a huge red candle over there, right? A huge red candle over there, and I think this is not a good sign for Bitcoin. Okay, it's not a good sign, because as you start to see this red candle, right, started to build up, this can actually push the price further down. Okay, further down, and 49k most probably a ideal point to watch, okay, where price is going. And also if you look into sorry, let me just change this to candle, and if you look into a monthly, right, you can see that even on a monthly basis we are already starting to see quite a strong red candle. So you can see on the bigger time frame, on the monthly and also on the weekly time frame, right, it is basically a bearish sentiment at this moment. All right, so when you have a bigger time frame which is bearish, that is a strong signal, okay, sending out, okay, a strong signal is sending out, saying that we're going to see a more bearish a more bearish situation, with the Bitcoin itself. All right, so this is something important for you to watch at this moment. All right, and trust that this insight is helpful. Okay, so please take care. All right, God bless each and every one of you. From time to time I will make sure that I keep you updated, okay, so that you know exactly what is happening. And also, right, you have to be proactive. Okay, don't be proactive, okay, because some of you are proactive, you are adding orders and you are seeing your positions are closed, so that is fantastic. Okay, and if you don't have extra fund, that is fine. Okay, and also as I mentioned to you, right, you can also rotate your fund. So if you already closed some of those positions, right, so if you already closed, let's say your USDT, or you already close your BTC, you can take that fund, convert it, okay, into probably USDC, and then you can go into USDC and do an add order in the USDC. So do it one by one, okay? Take one step at a time. Don't rush all in at once, because we don't know, okay? Anything can happen to Bitcoin. This is the interesting part about Bitcoin, all right? Because Bitcoin will do what Bitcoin likes to do. So Bitcoin don't care about technical analysis. Bitcoin doesn't care who you are at the end of it. So if Bitcoin decides to go down, it goes down, and it doesn't want you. Alright, and Bitcoin are basically driven by behavioral. So when I say about behavioral, you talk about fear and greed, right? So when people hear the news actually is driving the price. Can you see that? The news is affecting the behavior, and because of that, okay, people who are panicking now are selling their Bitcoin. Alright, so this is the reality, guys. This is the reality, and it is good that you are looking exactly at what is really happening after the halving. Can you see that? This line is where the halving is, and after the halving, people thought that Bitcoin is going to go to 100,000, 1 million. What is really happening? This is the reality. Alright, this is the reality. Alright, so don't listen too much, okay, to a lot of the hype outside there. At the end of it, okay, at the end of it, it is the price action. At the end of it, this is how the reality, okay, of being part of Bitcoin, okay? So please take note of it. So now at this moment, Bitcoin price is coming down. Even Bitcoin dominance is coming down, right, at this moment. So we are not really seeing much in terms of the altcoin season and so on at this moment. We are actually seeing a lot of sell-off taking place. Altcoin is being sold. Meme coins are coming down like crazy, okay? Meme coins are coming down like crazy. There is a shift of sentiment in the market, so please be very careful, okay? If you are into meme coin, if you are into certain altcoin, okay, make sure that this coin have a fundamental, have a proper economics, okay, before you go in. And I believe so, right? Probably it will be good to wait, all right? Good to wait, because if Bitcoin price comes down even further, right, even further to 49,000 or 50,000, I think that will be a good point to start to even accumulate Bitcoin and so on, okay? And also please take note, we have ETF approval coming for Ethereum, right? Ethereum in July, if I'm not mistaken, 5th of July. So please take note, normally it is always, okay, buy the rumor, sell the news, right? So you can see that most probably even Ethereum is going to collapse 20 or 30% when it is actually approved for listing, or it goes on for listing, right? So this is a normal scenario. So please be very careful, protect yourself, and I look forward to catch up with you. All right, so God bless each and every one of you.